welcome to 40k Monday. Now it's going to be changing very soon to Warhammer Monday, where we look at basically anything that's 40k, 30k or fantasy, because obviously I'm doing loads of bits and pieces, so there's loads happening. But this today I thought we'd have a look at my my white scars, because we haven't looked at them in a long while, and I wanted to let you see how they've progressed, and also they're going very soon, so I can start a brand new project, and that brand new project I will unveil at some point. But it's going to be a 30k base. It's going to be Space Marines, and it's going to be something different. I always like to challenge myself by trying out new paint schemes and moving on to different things, just to look at what's out there basically, and it gives me a chance to grow as a person and as a model maker. So I thought today we would have a look at these guys. Now these are my custom made Master of the Signals, my Praetor, my Standardbearer and a Chaplain. Now you're going to say, why have you built a Chaplain? Because they do appear at some point, and I kind of like the idea of a Chaplain as somebody that the Praetor can rely on and talk to and find guidance in, very much like they do with the psychers that they have in their armies as well. So let's start off with my Praetor type character, and we just move these guys out of the way so we can focus on what's in front of us. Okay, so here we have my Praetor. Now, the nice thing about this Praetor, it's made up of a number of different bits and pieces. It's a Forge-World model mixed with all sorts of bits and pieces from other gaming systems. So we've got a puppet ball head. I really like the Native American Indian heads. They work well for the white scars. All you got to do is chop the feathers off them, and they just work really, really well. We have a Space Wolf blade there that fits nicely. Tucks in just under the chest armour. You have to take away the panel that it's connected to, but it works really, really nicely. And if we turn around here, we have the Praetor sword with a bit of Beastman bone handle. I think it works really well with a nice look to the white scars, to have that Mongolian and barbarian feel to them. It just works out really, really nicely. Now, I saw a picture with on DeviantArt that someone had done with a pole with a ram's horn, ram's skull on the top, and it just worked out really nicely as something that sort of stands out in a battlefield. And it even has the red and the white of the white scars, which works really, really well. And on the back, I wanted to sort of like a saber or scimitar type weapon that you see them that they have in the battle. And if you've seen Marco Polo and stuff like that, you would have seen these beautifully shaped swords, and it works nicely. And that's from a Chaos Marine, and you just have to scrape away all the Chaos markings on it. But all in all, I was very, very happy. Now, I've left any insignias off it, or any icons or logos on it, off it, sorry, because obviously at some point Forge-World will release the Heresy White Scars symbols, and that'll fit nicely on there. Now, most of the models matted down, but I've gone back in with a gloss and just glossed up the white panels just to bring it out. Now, I noticed on the Forge-World stuff, especially the poster for the white scars, everything was quite bling. There's lots of gold, lots of silver and lots of white with fur and stuff. So I've tried to replicate that within this piece, and let's move on to the next guy. So here we have my Chaplain. Now you're going to say, why is there a Chaplain? I kind of like the idea of having a Chaplain, and I kind of like the idea of the sort of Eastern monks that you see, especially in a lot of the martial art movies, where they have a massive club-like weapon for just hitting people and not stabbing people, and it kind of works well with this, like a power maul. And there is no sort of colour scheme for the Chaplains at the moment, especially for the Heresy that I've seen. So I've gone for just one shoulder pad painted black and one arm black and gold, to signify that he's their voice, so to speak, the voice of the Legion, so to speak. Again, we've gone with a Forge-World dagger on the front of there, mixed with GW parts, just to bring it out. And I kind of like this one, the idea of him holding onto his saber there. So he's sort of like very ceremonially holding onto it as he steps down, after probably giving some great speech to his brothers. So that worked out quite nicely. Okay, let's look at the Standardbearer. Now, this was completely different to how I imagined I was going to do it originally, but looking at different bits and pieces online, looking at Mongolian weapons, looking at Mongolian artefacts that have been found and dug up, I thought this would work quite well. Now, I wanted something that was very old looking, something that sort of said this was the Khan's legacy, something that has followed him and been passed on, and this worked really nicely. This sort of banner, which was a shield with the fur pelt with the insignia of the Legion on there, and it's aged and worn, and there's a bit of tapestry coming down from it with some text, religious text on there, or just some sort of like old worldy text written on the side there with an imperial eagle on the top. Obviously not with two heads, just with one head, but this one's got a skull, which was really, really nice. And as we spin him around, you can sort of see what it looks like, and it's come out quite nicely. In his hand, he's got his sabre, and you can see his helmet by his feet, and the idea was to chop off the sword hilt, so it was just the sheath there, so it looks like he's pulled the sword out of the sheath. And on the top of here we have like a horse's tail, which signifies obviously the fast moving way of life of this legion, and the basis of their history, which is obviously a warfaring horse riding race. So it kind of worked really, really well, mixing in the old Mongolian sort of like ideals and art and stuff like that into a piece that we see in front of us. So that I like very, very much. And last but not least is my homemade Master of the Signals. Now, I really like the forge rod one, and I wanted to try and replicate that in a way that I could do at home with bits and pieces that I had laying around. Now, obviously it's forge rod armour. For all of these, I've added a bit more gold into it than the standard normal marine, because there's tons of bling on these guys anyway. But this just adds to it and gives it a little bit more, and makes them a little bit more different to everybody else. So I've used here a number of different pieces from Puppet's Warheads, the Native American Indian Puppet Warheads. He has a hand from a World Eater, which normally has a chain connected to it. And I've cut like a little scanner, as you can see there, and just connected it to the arm. So it's a bit more ornate and a bit more different, a bit more old worldy technology, as he uses his fingers to press buttons. You'll notice on that hand he's not wearing a glove. That kind of works as well. I kind of like that maybe he's taking his glove off. He's got his helmet by his foot, which he's resting it on, and if we spin him around, he's got his ammo pouches, his bolter there, and obviously he's got his different backpack to everybody else, so he can communicate around the battlefield. So that's my character models, and I thought they'd be useful to have a quick look at. I'm going to be doing some videos of more of them as well as we progress further, but obviously these will probably be gone by the time you see this video, because I'm going to be starting on a new project, and it's something that I'm quite inspired by other friends of mine that have done it, and I'd like to play around with it myself. So guys, you be good, you be safe, and I'm going to see you very, very soon. Take care.